Pumpkin kicks Josh out of the house in Mama June from Not Too Hot. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Mama June. Lauren Pumpkin Shannon, the star from Not Too Hot, fights Josh Efrid and ultimately kicks him out of their home. But it's unexpected why she's thrown him out of their house. Mama June. Pumpkin Shannon is worried about Josh Efrid's return, but Not Too Hot. Regarding Mama June, Not Too Hot, Pumpkin Shannon is frantically pacing the home to ensure that everything is tidy. However, because Pumpkin is behaving upset and very short, Alana Thompson asks her what's wrong. Pumpkin continues by stating that she is anxious about her husband, Josh Efrid, returning home. Her daughter is also causing chaos throughout the entire house, which is another reason she is stressing out. Her infant daughter is creating a massive mess as she crumbles and breaks up Pop-Tart bits on the ground. Next on Mama June, Pumpkin from Not Too Hot Shannon expresses her desire for her husband Josh Efrid to return home to a tidy house. That's because he has spent the entire week working out of state. She wants her home to be tidy when he returns. She also worried that her spouse will think she and Alana are living like pigs. A new mother discusses the horrible twos. Pumpkin Shannon talks about how much she loves being a mother in her book Mama June, from Not Too Hot. She acknowledges, nevertheless, that she struggled during her daughter's terrible twos. She continues by saying that even though she is going to turn 3 years old, she feels like she is going to lose her hair. She then understands how much she needs a break. Mama June. Pumpkin Shannon and Josh Efrid's arguments go from Not Too Hot. Regarding Mama June, Not Too Hot, Pumpkin Shannon is eager for Josh Efrid to return home. She starts preparing dinner after she's done tidying up. She checks her phone nervously though, hoping her spouse has called. Alana Thompson enters and inquires about Pumpkin's distress. She continues by saying that she hasn't heard from Josh Efrid on the phone, asking him to explain why he is 2 hours late getting home. Pumpkin says he must call her, even though Alana suggests he call Josh. Josh Efrid then approaches his wife as he enters the home. But Pumpkin is furious and wants to know why her husband is taking 2 hours longer than expected to get home. He says he's tired and wants to eat, but he doesn't specify why he's running late. Pumpkin then ejects him from the residence. As she locks the door, he observes from a chair on their porch. Next, Pumpkin gets Josh's dinner dish out and lets him dine on the porch in Mama June, from Not Too Hot. She tosses him a sleeping bag so he can sleep on the porch outdoors once he finishes his meal. She tells him to go into the bushes when he says he has to urinate. Josh spends the entire night on the porch outside. Pumpkin, Lauren Shannon, stared out of the kitchen window, watching the autumn leaves dance in the wind. She tried to find solace in their movement, but her mind kept wandering back to the argument she had with Josh earlier that morning. Their once loving marriage had been strained to the breaking point, and today felt like the day it would all unravel. Josh had been distant lately, buried in work and his own frustrations. The pressures of their reality TV life, the stress of being young parents, and the added responsibility of caring for her mother, Mama June, were taking a toll. The latest fight was about money, an old issue that had resurfaced, but this time it felt like the tipping point. As she stood there, lost in thought, Pumpkin's phone buzzed on the counter. It was a text from her sister, Alana, "Honey Boo Boo." Josh had stormed out of the house hours ago, leaving Pumpkin to deal with the aftermath. She could hear Ella Grace playing in the living room, her innocent laughter a stark contrast to the turmoil in Pumpkin's heart. She knew that for the sake of their daughter, something had to change. As she mulled over her thoughts, the front door creaked open. Josh walked in, his face a mask of anger and frustration. He avoided her gaze, heading straight to the bedroom. Pumpkin followed him, her heart pounding. "We need to talk," she said firmly, standing in the doorway. "Not now, Pumpkin," Josh replied, his voice strained. "Yes, now," she insisted, stepping into the room. "We can't keep going like this." Josh turned to face her, his eyes filled with a mixture of anger and sadness. "What do you want from me, Pumpkin? I'm doing everything I can." "Everything except being here for your family," she shot back. "You're always at work, always too busy. And when you're home, You're checked out. I can't do this alone." Josh's shoulders slumped, and for a moment he looked defeated. "I know I've been distant, but I'm trying to provide for us." Pumpkin's voice cracked. "I never wanted this life either, but we're in it together. Or at least we were supposed to be." The silence between them was heavy, filled with unspoken words and pent-up frustrations. Finally, Pumpkin took a deep breath, her decision made. "Josh, I think you need to leave." His eyes widened in shock. "You're kicking me out." "I need space," she said, her voice steady. "We need space. To think, to figure out what we really want. This isn't working, and it's tearing us apart." Josh stared at her, his expression a mix of hurt and anger. Without another word, he grabbed a duffel bag from the closet and started packing. Pumpkin watched, tears streaming down her face, but she didn't stop him. This was something they both needed. The house felt eerily quiet after Josh left. Pumpkin sat on the edge of the bed, feeling a mix of relief and sorrow. She knew it was the right decision, but that didn't make it any easier. Ella Grace toddled into the room, sensing something was wrong. "Where's Daddy?" she asked, her innocent eyes wide with confusion. Pumpkin forced a smile, picking her up and holding her close. "Daddy's going to stay somewhere else for a little while, sweetie, but he'll be back." Ella Grace nodded, resting her head on Pumpkin's shoulder. Pumpkin held her tightly, drawing strength from her daughter's presence. Later that evening, Pumpkin called her sister. "Hey, Alana, can you come over? I need to talk." Alana arrived within the hour, her face filled with concern. They sat together in the living room, and Pumpkin poured out her heart, telling Alana everything. "I'm so sorry, Pumpkin," Alana said, hugging her sister. "But you did what you had to do. Sometimes space is the best thing." Pumpkin nodded, wiping away her tears. "I hope so. I just want to figure things out, for me, for Ella, and for Josh." The days that followed were a whirlwind of emotions. Pumpkin focused on taking care of Ella Grace and managing the household. She leaned on her family for support, especially Alana and her older sister Jessica. They helped with babysitting and offered a shoulder to cry on when she needed it. Pumpkin also decided to seek professional help. She found a therapist, Dr. Sarah Collins, who specialized in family and marriage counseling. Their sessions became a lifeline for Pumpkin, a place where she could unpack her feelings and gain new perspectives. Dr. Collins encouraged Pumpkin to focus on self-care and to set boundaries. "You can't pour from an empty cup," she reminded her. "Take time for yourself, and don't be afraid to ask for help." Pumpkin took the advice to heart. She started going for walks, journaling, and finding small moments of joy in her daily routine. She also made a conscious effort to spend quality time with Ella Grace, creating memories that would last a lifetime. While Pumpkin was working on herself, Josh was doing some soul-searching of his own. He stayed with a friend, using the time apart to reflect on his actions and what he truly wanted for his family. Josh reached out to Dr. Collins and began attending individual therapy sessions. He realized that his anger and frustration were masking deeper issues, feelings of inadequacy and fear of failure. Therapy helped him understand these emotions and gave him tools to cope with them. After a few weeks, Josh contacted Pumpkin. They met at a neutral location, a park where they used to take Ella Grace. The conversation was tense at first, but gradually they opened up to each other. "I've been working on myself," Josh admitted. "I know I haven't been the best husband or father, but I'm trying to change." Pumpkin listened, her heart aching for the man she loved. "I want to believe you, Josh, but we need to see real changes. We need to rebuild our trust." They agreed to continue seeing Dr. Collins, this time for couples therapy. It was a slow process, but with each session, they began to rebuild the foundation of their relationship. As the weeks turned into months, Pumpkin and Josh made significant progress. They learned to communicate more effectively.